If you have a garage door opener from the 1980s or the 1990s, then there's a good chance that you'll have a Linear Delta-3 radio receiver attached to your opener. If that's the case and you're looking for a keychain remote to work with your opener, then stick around as we show you how to program the remote to your opener. Let's get to it. Alright, if you're interested in purchasing a Linear keychain remote, you'll find a link in the description below to our website. The Linear keychain remote has a part number LB1, but also goes by the Mini-T or the Ladybug, and there are 8 programming switches inside the remote that can either be switched to the on position or the off position. If you open the remote, you'll see that the 8 switches are inside. And you can do this by pushing the 2 loops on the top of the remote so the top cover comes off. And inside you will see the small 8 switches inside of the remote. Now let's look at the 2 ways that you can program the remote to the radio receiver. The first way to program the remote is to remove the radio receiver from the back of your garage door opener. And to do that, you're going to use a screwdriver and loosen the 3 screws that are on your opener. Then you can remove the radio receiver from the opener, and when you turn it over on the back, you'll see a hole in the back of the receiver, and then you'll see the 8 switches that are inside of the radio receiver. These switches can be switched to either the on position or the off position. So just take note of which ones are in the on position in your radio receiver. For this example, 1, 6, and 7 are in the on position, and all the other switches in the receiver are in the off position. Now let's go to our remote control, and once you take that cover off, you'll see these switches in here, and they're very small. We like to use a small bladed knife that's very thin to be able to move these switches since they're so small. But in our radio receiver, we noted that 1, 6, and 7 were in the on position. So I want to go in here and move these down, 1, 6, and 7. I move them into the on position, which is down if you're holding the remote like this. Then I go through and just push up on all the other switches to make sure they are correctly in the off position. So now if you look, I only have 1, 6, and 7 in the down position, which is the on position. Now that we have the switches set in our remote control, we can take our radio receiver and reattach it to the back of our garage door opener. Then we'll take our cover and we will snap it back onto the remote. And when we press our button, our garage door opener should run. If the garage door doesn't run, then go back and double check that the switches in your remote are in the same position as the ones in the radio receiver. The second and the easier method of programming the keychain remote is to use the switches that you have in a remote control that's already programmed to the radio receiver. So if you have an existing remote, then turn it over and open the battery compartment on the back of the remote. So if you have a remote control like this, you take a screwdriver, loosen this screw on the back. That way you can swing the visor clip out of the way, and then just take your knife, put it in the slot near the bottom here, and just pop this little door off to the battery compartment. Inside you will see the same type of switches, 8 switches in there, and you would make sure that you had 1, 6, and 7 in your remote. Should be set if it's working with your radio receiver, and then just change the switches in your new keychain remote to 1, 6, and 7 also. And once you've done that, then you can just take and press your remote button and it should run your garage door opener. So that's how you program the Linear Delta-3 Keychain Remote. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Email us at youtube@garagedoorZone.com if you have any questions, and we'll see you on the next one.